Should you have a baby? Should you have a kid? Are you willing to do something that's very, very difficult, that's hard, that's going to wear on your nerves? My son and I were in the ladies' room, and he had just turned 3. I said, don't open the door. What did he do? He busted the door open of the stall in the ladies' room, and he ran out. I never wanted kids when I was in my 20s. I wasn't one of those people that just loved being around kids. I got bored watching kids' TV. I got bored looking at kids' books. I'll tell you later what happened that changed my mind about having kids. But when you have kids, you're going to be deprived of sleep from the time they're 2 months old till maybe they're 17, going out for the first time at night. You will lose sleep over your child. And becoming a mother will deprive you of money. And do you have a spouse, partner, or parent or sibling that can help you out when you need it? Somebody that can help you when you're in a pinch. You'll have no free time and you'll have endless duties. But there's one thing you will get. When you have a baby or you have a kid, you have a new celebrity in your house. You have somebody who is a little celebrity. They're cute, they're funny, and they're special. As a mother, you're the celebrity's assistant. You have to get food ready. You have to buy their clothes. You have to wash their clothes. You have to make their doctor's appointments. Plan for their birthday parties. Buy the birthday presents for them to take to give to other little kids having their birthday. You have to address your kids' hairstyle issues. Take them to activities. Inform their public, which is most likely grandma and grandpa, about all their activities and their latest developments. You have to check with your little celebrity. See if they're feeling all right. You have to plan for a little celebrity's life for the next few years. Where will they go to school? Who will take them and pick them up? What about aftercare? You constantly have to make decisions for this kid and discuss your decisions with their dad or other parent or guardian. As a new parent, you're feeling like a refugee because you're in a new land of parenthood and you've never been there before. And you probably don't know what to do. You got books, you got friends, you got parents, you can ask your questions, but you're constantly wondering if you are doing the right thing. Having a baby is educational. You become aware of the traumas that women all over the world have faced for millions of years regarding kids. The physical pain of giving birth, the emotional pain of worrying. And it's not even that bad for us because in the old colonial days, in slavery days, a woman could have 10, 20 kids. Now we can control it. Anyway, you worry over providing them with the best. Provide the best for your kid. You can never be alone from your kid. Your kid wants to be with you even when you're going to use the bathroom. You'll see the little hand coming under the door and they're calling you, mommy, mommy. You'll become interested in new friends. You want friends that are parents. The people with kids that you never spoke to before, all of a sudden they're going to become more interesting. And you all will become aware that women all over the world are sacrificing so much 24 hours a day. You'll be thinking about your child's safety and their personal development. Now, dads think about their children too, but this particular thing I'm telling you is regarding a woman making the decision to have a baby. So, like in the old times, it wasn't unusual for a woman to have 8 or 12 kids, and childbirth is a trip. Yes, I had the epidural. That's the painkiller they inject into your back. And yes, I had the episiotomy. That's when they have to cut to make sure there's a big enough opening for the delivery of the baby. I only had one baby. Back in the old days, women used to have the midwife come to their house, and then all the important women of their life, their mother, mother-in-law, sisters, friends, will come around the bed to give you moral support as you're trying to deliver this baby. It sounds kind of nice. I always kind of used to think having kids would be like when you babysit kids, but it's not even close. Because when you have your own kid, you give birth or you adopt a kid, It's supposed to be forever, for every day, forever. Every day you ask yourself what you can do for them. You ask them how their day was, and then you ask them for follow-ups on the news from school that they gave you yesterday. Unlike babysitting, you're responsible for everything in that kid's life forever. But it's a responsibility you can't always act on because at some point they're going to be old enough where they're going to be allowed to go away from home, and you have to control yourself to not constantly be calling them 24 hours a day. But even after they reach the golden age of 18, you're still going to feel responsible for them. Um, I didn't care about having kids. I'm not a domestic person. I don't love domestic duties. I took birth control pills and I used a diaphragm. But one thing changed my mind. I, I have to say this one thing had changed my mind. It's my younger cousin, my youngest cousin. He had a baby. He's 15 years younger than me. And that really made me wake up to the passage of time, that I was getting old. So at 34, I decided to withdraw taking birth control. I didn't make a big deal about it. I just stopped using the birth control. I didn't get pregnant for a while. It was a few months later that I got pregnant. But from the minute I found out, I got that mother fear in me, the fear that you don't want anything to hurt your baby. I stopped drinking alcohol. I didn't want to be out driving at night. Even when I used the restroom, I didn't want to strain because I didn't want to maybe make a mistake and push the baby out. I was afraid. And when they get in high school, you really have to control your fear. You have to have faith that everything will be all right. You have to say your prayers, and when they go out in the world, because you have to let them eventually. I remember the first time my son took an Uber alone. I was panicking. Not let me hear about a tragedy on the news, all the nightmare scenarios in my head. You know, you have to try to control your emotions. Yes, they're going to get on your nerves. They're going to be in elementary school and tell you they have a project due the next day. They're going to say, I know, when you try to lecture them about drugs and STDs, and they're going to be tired of you telling them how to drive. But each child is different. My first was hyper energetic. That's why I only had one. Your firstborn might be quiet and calm, so you may consider having more kids. But each one of us is different, and each one of the kids that we could have any kind of a wide difference in personality, quiet or loud or energetic. They could even have like a mental or physical disability. That's why you have to ask yourself, am I willing to give up all my free time for the betterment of another person? That's what having a baby is. You're giving up all your free time for the betterment of another person. If you don't want to give up your free time, don't have a baby. I learned to enjoy watching the kid shows. You know, when I saw my kid enjoy them. Motherhood changed me in that I appreciate what women have traditionally done for millions of years. I clearly see the mountain of stress that women have endured throughout eternity. In every country, in every income group, except for maybe those people that's so rich that they send their kid to boarding school when they turn 5, 7, or 8 years old. Motherhood makes me appreciate people in all incomes, high and low, all over the world, especially low incomes, that they're striving to do their best to provide food, shelter, and education for their kids. The greatest discouragement comes from me when I see the news of a child or a teen's life that was taken for no reason by other teens, by an adult, or maybe wrongfully by law enforcement. The more trivial the reason that the person was taken, the more it hurts. But if you're willing to give up your way of life to have a baby, you will definitely get an education in return. You get an education in life. Can you imagine raising children in a time of slavery? The inner strength it would have taken to teach good values when you're surrounded with people who have no ethics is really incredible. I talked myself into having a baby because my youngest cousin had had a baby. I do not regret it. My life was busy and chaotic when my child was young, but he's grown now.